and also Europe. And apparently, even Antarctica is slightly more developed, ironically.
You said what?
Even Antarctica is more developed in certain places compared to like some
Okay, but there's
sub-Saharan
54
African
countries. I
areas.
don't know what countries you're talking about because every country has its own history. Like,
Okay,
so what country?
let's compare Chad to Japan, which is more successful.
Uh, okay, but I'm not from Chad,
Okay,
and I don't
so
think
let's
that you're from
compare
any of those
Nigeria
countries.
to South Korea.
I'm not from Nigeria.
Okay, so let's compare, I don't know, Cotiabore um, with Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico is not more developed than African countries. It's not.
Well, Puerto Rico is more developed than Cotiabore, for sure.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
No,
is.
it's not.
Yes, it
No, it's
absolutely is.
not. Are you from Puerto Rico?
I'm not from there,
Where are you from?
but I am Puerto Rican.
Okay, my country is more developed than your country.
Well, it's not true.
Where am I from?
Cotiabore, what's your GDP per capita?
There are 54 countries, and you
What
have yet to
what
add.
is your GDP per capita in your country of Cotiabore?
I mean, I'm from Botswana. You can look it up. Botswana is
I
more
don't.
developed than.
Botswana. Okay, what's the GDP per capita in Botswana?
You can look it up. Do your research.
Okay, so I will look it up right now. The average GDP per capita in. Actually, wait. Give me a second, because then I have to move my both my cell phones. So Cotiabore, Botswana, both of them are less than $12,000 USD, whereas Puerto Rico is $37,000 at minimum per capita, GDP per capita.
Let me double check.
Yeah, go ahead. You can check that one out. GDP per capita. GDP per capita. So we are significantly far more successful than people who live in Botswana, people who live in Cotiabore, than people who live in Chad, Nigeria.
That's your because of your proximity to America. You guys see it like a U.S. colony.
Okay, and at the end of the day, even as a
And,
U.S.
wait.
even as
Do
a
Puerto
U.S.
Rican?
colony,
Let me ask
even
you a
as a
question.
U.S. colony, we
No,
are
no,
far
no.
more successful than
You're
the
not letting me
independent
speak.
country
Do
of
Puerto
Botswana.
Ricans? Do
We are more
Puerto Ricans make more
successful than
money
the
than Nigerians in
independent
America?
country
Answer
of
my question.
Botswana.
Are you gonna let me speak, or
No,
you just
why
wanna?
why are we
No,
more
exactly.
successful?
You don't want
Why
to
are
have
we
that
more
conversation.
successful
Do
than
Puerto Ricans make more?
Shush?
Exactly.
Okay.
Do Puerto Ricans make more money than Nigerians in America?
Okay. So but we're gonna make this very clear. Specifically, Nigerians make more money inside the United States because of the way how the immigration process works. The immigration process works specifically. We highlight individuals. I'm not mad. The thing is that you're talking about something that's completely irrelevant. If you want to come up again, I'll bring it back up. We could talk about it. I don't mind bringing it back up because I know you're gonna use Nigeria, and I'll explain this perfectly for you. Because look,
It's easier for Puerto Ricans to come to America. Nigerians live better than Puerto Ricans in America, than all Latinos. There's 68 million Latinos, and Latinos do not live better than Nigerians. Okay, and Ethiopia, there's the average African
okay,
in America makes more money than the average.
now you're so what was the GDP per capita? Did you find that out first?
I don't care. Like, you're in America. You don't live better than Africans?
I asked you a specific country
No,
about Botswana,
no.
about the GDP per capita. What was the GDP per capita in Botswana?
It's because in America you don't make more money than Africans. You don't.
You asked me a specific question about the differences of how people are living inside these countries. So the people in Botswana are doing economically worse than the people in Puerto Rico. Now, the comparison of specifically Nigerians and Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans have free entry inside the United States. Like, we can travel inside the United States and travel all across through any place. So that means people who are poor, people who are rich in Puerto Rico, they can travel between the mainland United States and Puerto Rico freely with just an ID. So this allows all of us to travel freely. Nigerians, on the other hand, don't get that same benefit. You guys had to file for visas. By filing for visas, you guys are specifically required, especially H-1B visas, to have a certain standard, certain wealth, certain education for you guys to be accepted. The only time when that is not required of you to be successful is when you're refugees. Correct?
Okay. What about the Latinos who don't have this benefit from
Why are you moving goalposts? You're moving goalposts. We were talking about Nigerians. Now you don't want to talk about Nigerians anymore. See,
No,
we
no,
were talking about
no. I'm talking
Botswana
about
and the GDP
Nigerians.
per capita.
Answer my
You didn't
question.
want to answer the
Not
question.
all Latinos have those
Then we moved on
benefits.
to the
Not
conversation
all
about
Latinos have those
Nigerians
benefits.
being more
Exactly.
economically
Nope,
better
nope,
off
nope,
inside the
nope.
United
You
States
don't have a
versus
productive
Puerto
conversation.
Ricans.
You just want
And
to
I
rip
already
off. Like that's
stated
it.
that. So now you're moving goalposts to a different
No, I'm
question.
not moving the goalposts. I said if that's the case, why do first of all, not all Latinos get those benefits. Okay, there's the Latinos who migrate from Mexico, from Salvador, from
Yes,
like
congratulations. Yes.
they don't make more money than Nigerians. Why is that?
So, border crossing control, border crossing cards are applied to specifically Mexicans. Do you know what a BCC is?
You're not answering my question. You got the point.
I'm answering your question because you're moving the
I'm not
goalposts.
answering the
We
question.
were talking about
If you
Puerto
don't answer my
Ricans.
question, I would answer
We
the
were
question.
talking about Puerto
Then you
Ricans,
can
and
go.
now you're shifting
Anyway, I'm not
goalposts
even
to
entertaining
specifically
you. I'm not
Mexicans.
entertaining you. Y'all the
You're
poorest in America,
you're
so don't
moving
act like you're better than
goalposts.
Africans because you're not. You're not better
You're
than
moving
Africans. Clearly
goalposts.
not. You're in America.
Suddenly, we're talking about
Why can't you
Mexicans when you
guys?
brought up Puerto Ricans.
That's my question.
I'm
Okay.
trying to answer the question, but you are
Puerto Rico
moving
is backed
goalposts.
by
Every
the
single time I
strongest
answer your
countries of
question,
all
you
times,
don't
and you
like
still
the
added
answer, and then you
power.
move
You're not.
goalposts.
You're still colonized in 2026.
So
You're still US territory. What
do
are you
you
trying?
admit, Teriyaki, that even your country, Botswana, that is an independent country, is doing worse off than Puerto Rico? Do you admit that?
Clearly not. You're in America. You're not in Puerto. Are you in Puerto Rico right now?
Answer the question.
No, are you in Puerto Rico? That's what I want to know. Why aren't you in
It
Puerto
doesn't
Rico?
matter if I live in Puerto Rico. I could be in Peru. I could
Exactly.
be in Japan. It doesn't matter where I am.
Oh my gosh, she's retarded. I'm holding door.
Okay, so you're gonna use some foul language because you're incorrect. That's just how it goes, man. That's just how it goes. We're on TikTok, and I hope you know that you need to use correct language on TikTok. Lejua Diamante said hi. How's it going? Am I successful? I guess. Who knows? I'm also on YouTube, you guys. So again, I don't understand this position, Teriyaki. First, I asked you about the GDP per capita, the comparison between Puerto Ricans that live in Puerto Rico versus people in Botswana, people in Chad, people in Nigeria. All three of those countries have a lower GDP per capita than specifically Puerto Rico. Then you asked me about Nigerians and their income and their economic status inside the United States. I had already explained that Nigerians get the specific benefit of getting visas, which has a higher requirement of education skills and other benefits than other groups of people, which is a fact. And the only time when that is not required is if you are refugees. Then, as a way to move the goalpost again, you then bring up Mexico. I thought we were talking about Puerto Rico, but I guess you want to talk about Mexico. So that's why I mentioned the border crossing card, because Mexicans are the only ones that receive a border crossing card. A border crossing card does not require any kind of minimum education. It doesn't require any kind of minimum financial standard for them to come inside the country, to stay in the country for like 2 weeks and for other means. So you don't know what you're talking about, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. And then we can make the comparison between Nigerians, right, which is the only really highly successful one of Africans inside the United States. How about we talk about the Botswanans? The Botswanan migrants are actually doing worse, aren't they? So you want to highlight specifically Nigeria, right? You want to highlight specifically Nigeria or Kenyan, right? Kenyan immigrants. But that's so funny to me. So you want to move goalposts and you want to cherry pick. I'm not even cherry picking. You said specifically to highlight my Puerto Rican people. And I said, okay, I'll agree with you. Let's talk about that. So, well, you're at work. So that's pretty ironic, isn't it? So, but we'll move on to the next one. Alejua Diamante. I appreciate it. Thank you.
There's so many more Hi, how are you?
Sure. What's up?
Yeah, so there's so many more African immigrant groups making more than Latinos, and Latinos are actually more likely to commit crime than these African immigrants,
cool.
Right?
Yeah, I agree, actually.
Because you're like, oh, since they're African, they're more likely to commit crime.
I never said that. Wait, I never said that.
No.
Stop. I never said that. I never said that. Stop. I'm gonna stop you right there. I never said that they created more crimes.
I know. I'm just
no,
stating something.
You're already saying some bullshit. You're already saying some bullshit. I'm sorry, but you're already saying some bullshit. Don't come onto my platform and start lying about what I stated. I never said that. Okay? Don't come onto my platform because you're lying about me. I dropped you because you lied about what I stated. I never said that. So you're bringing up a discussion that I never said. So unless you actually get your position correct about my position, then I'll bring you back up. It was something I heard someone state in the past. It doesn't matter. I didn't state it, so why are you mentioning something that I did not state? So what exactly was the point of that? You want to have an intellectual debate? Okay, so don't bring up a conversation that you had with some random person that I cannot even verify with evidence. Right? If I cannot verify with evidence over things that you heard in your past, why are we even considering that in the debate? That's called anecdotal reasoning. There's no point to be arguing your position on anecdotes. Now, if you want to say that crime is different between these groups of people and leave it at that, yeah, sure, I agree with you, which is what I'm not denying at all. But of course, you don't see that, so that's fine. But yeah, you can come up. Just actually get your shit together and get it straight. Don't be talking about stuff that you heard in your past. How about you live in the present and talk about what I am discussing specifically?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you capable of keeping within the bounds of the conversation of what's happening in the year? In the year, wait. Allow me to finish. Yep. Are you able to conduct your conversation limited to the talking points in the background and what's happening right now in the day of August 15, 2026? Don't talk about yesterday. Don't talk about 1,000 years ago. Talk about what is going on right now with what I'm discussing right now. So what are your thoughts? What's your position?
So you stated that someone was cherry picking the amount of African immigrants that make more. This is actually something you stated. Yeah, you're cherry picking the country, but no, there's a lot of more African immigrants coming from different countries making more in America, making six figures.
Can you explain why?
Pursuing an African college degree. My bad.
So in those countries, they learn English, correct?
Yeah, of course.
So is that pretty standardized throughout most of those African countries?
Is it pretty standardized?
So in Latin America, English is not standardized. You know that, right? Do you think that people that come from different countries that don't speak English as a standardized language, do you think it's more difficult for them to have higher payments or find better jobs?
That's the same with Africans.
But again, in African countries,
English is not standardized.
Not in every country, but in Nigeria, it is standardized, is it not?
Of course, it is.
So in Spanish is not standardized, or English is not standardized in any Latin American country.
It is. In Mexico, it is.
It isn't standardized. No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It is not.
Where's your evidence to show that it's not standardized?
So you believe that it is a requirement in Mexico to learn English? It is the official language of Mexico? Is it an official language of Mexico?
It's not an official language in Mexico.
Okay, so it's not an official language of Mexico. It's not a requirement by law to learn.
Same with Nigeria.
Yes, it is. In Nigeria, is it not part of the law to learn English?
To learn English? I'm not Nigerian, but...
Okay, but it's the official language. It's one of the official languages of Nigeria, is it not?
Yeah, I mean...
Okay, so again, if it's the official language, they have an upper hand because of the understanding of English to begin with. You already understand English and can maneuver, and you can maneuver between these economic zones because of English. It's the lingua franca, is it not?
Yeah, but that's not an excuse to not know English.
I never said it was an excuse. What are you talking about? We're not the same thing. We are not talking about the same thing. I never said that it was an excuse.
Nigerian English is completely different than regular English that we speak in America.
Okay, AAVE is the same thing.
No, it's not. Nigerian Pidgin English is not the same thing as AAVE. You cannot be for
So why are you talking about? Wait, you just said that you're not Nigerian. You just said before that you're not Nigerian. You just stated that you're not Nigerian and you can't talk about Nigerian issues, and then all of a sudden you're talking about Nigerian issues when it comes to Nigeria. So that's confusing. That's confusing. Are you Nigerian or are you not Nigerian?
I'm not Nigerian.
Okay, so you're not Nigerian and you're using your anecdotes again with your family members as anecdotes. I'm not
using anecdotes.
You just said it. You just said right there. You just said right there that your family members are Nigerian and you are speaking on behalf of your own Nigerian cousins. That's what you just stated.
Because I'm stating
because it's anecdotal. It's anecdotal.
An objective fact. You said AAVE is the same thing as Nigerian.
Yeah, AAVE. Listen. AAVE is a creation of the language, right? Of English language, the derivative of English inside the United States. Nigerian English is a derivative of English, is it not?
And guess what? AAVE stems from slavery.
That doesn't matter. Why are you moving goalposts? Why are you moving goalposts? You are.
It's true. It's just
Congratulations.
reality.
And the mixing of the Nigerian language, whatever that is, with English is what created pidgin, is it not?
Yes.
Okay,
That's literally
so
what
just
it
as
is.
the
Yeah.
black Africans inside the United States created their own fucking language, which they didn't, it's the same idea. You guys have
It's
your
not
own
the
form.
same
You guys have your
idea,
own
because
form. You guys have your own form of English. Your English is more standardized, especially in fucking Nigeria, right? So you're talking a nonsense. You're trying to compare an
I'm
English
not
speaking.
speaking the
You're trying to compare an English speaking country with a Spanish speaking country and the differences of the economic outcomes
Nigerian ping.
of the
Oh my
economic
gosh.
outcomes of these groups of
I'm
people.
arguing so well right now. Nigerian pidgin English stemmed from English colonization, right? When the
Yes,
British
and
came
it's
to
the official
Nigeria and
language of
colonized it.
Nigeria. Yes.
Yes, okay. And AABE stemmed from slavery, stemmed from them.
And English is also
barely.
the official language of the United States conducted by Donald Trump in the year 2025.
No, it
So,
is not.
yes,
English
it
is not the
is.
official language of the
Yes,
United
it
States.
is. He
But
he made
okay,
it
if
the
you want to say
executive
that,
order.
you
You
can
don't know
say
anything
that.
else what you're talking about. The
Okay.
executive order was already committed by Donald Trump last year.
Okay, let's just say, okay, English is the official language. Okay, but you just said AAVE is a. I'm confused. You
Of
just
course
said
you're confused.
AAVE. I'm
Yeah,
not, because you just compared
AAVE
to Nigerian
is a derivative
Pidgin
of the English
English.
language, very much in the same way how Nigerian pidgin is a fucking derivative of the English language.
It's,
So-
oh my gosh.
So they don't speak English in Nigeria anymore?
They do, but they speak a different type of English. I've just stated that so many different
Okay,
times.
so
In
I've already
Africa,
explained
they
that
speak-
part. The
Okay,
English that you guys
okay, we
speak is
can-
a derivative of English that was spoken in Britain.
Okay,
In
so
the United
can we say
States,
that
we
about
speak
the
a,
Spanish?
we don't
Can we
even
say
speak.
that about Spanish, Mexican Spanish?
Yes,
Or
it's a
do you guys speak
derivative.
Spanish?
Mexican Spanish is a
okay.
derivative of the Spanish
Okay,
spoken in
okay, we're on
Spain.
the same
It's not the
page.
same thing.
We're on the same page. Okay.
So exactly, that's my main point. We're on the same page because you're not
Okay.
understanding my position because you're ignorant.
Because you just try to compare AABE.
Yes, I'm
Okay,
going to compare
let's
a
move on.
derivative of the English
let's
language
move
with
on.
another derivative
You're
of
trying
the
to
English
compare
language.
Ebonics. You're trying to compare Ebonics to Nigerian Pidgin to English. Like, are you serious right now?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that not comparable?
No, it's not.
Why is it not
Nigerian Pidgin is
comparable?
not
Can you
Ebonics. They use
explain
actual,
logically speaking why it's not comparable?
actual English words. Because listen to a Nigerian Pidgin. It's not Ebonics at all. They don't use.
I never said it
Ebonics
was
for
Ebonics.
slurs
I
or
said that they
anything
are
like
both
that.
derivatives of the English language. That's what makes them the same because they are both
Okay.
derivatives. In the position of being a derivative, they are derivatives of the English language, whether you like it or not. Just like patois in Jamaica is a derivative of the English language. Just like Creole in Haiti is a derivative of the French language. Is it not?
It is.
Okay, so don't come with me with bullshit about the fucking languages. In Nigeria, they have a head start compared to most of Latin America because you guys already understand the basis of the English language. Most Spanish people don't because we don't study English as often as you guys study English in Nigeria or whatever countries that are English derivatives, majority or official language
Most
is
African
English in African
do
countries.
not have that. And that's not an excuse because Latin America is right there. It's literally in the Americas. So I
Okay.
would assume that you guys would know English. And Nigeria is
That makes no
more,
sense.
Than Mexico.
That makes no sense. You
Nigeria
just
is
automatically
literally more
so
poor
so
than Mexico.
so d-
how
so
is that an
wait,
excuse?
if I'm
So how are
understanding this
Nigerian
correctly,
immigrants doing
you think that
better
Indians
than
should know
Mexican
Chinese?
immigrants?
You think that Indians should know Chinese because China's next door?
No.
But that's what you
Like
just said
what?
about Mexicans. You just said that Mexicans should know English because they're next door.
That's
So why
completely
does that
different.
logic not
That's
translate with the
completely
Asians, but it
different.
only applies to
That's
specifically
completely
Latinos?
different.
It's not
A lot
different.
of-
In no way is that different. They are literally neighbors. There are more Chinese speakers globally, and also, I think Indian speakers also globally than there are English speakers. So what are you talking about?
There's more Chinese speakers. I'm not Chinese, Mandarin speakers than whatever they speak in India, Hindi, Hindu, whatever speakers.
The logic from these people, I swear to God. Are you a Black
From
American?
these people.
Yeah, are
I'm
you-
not a Black American.
What are you?
I'm an African. I come from African immigrants.
Were you
sir.
born inside this country?
Successful
Were you born inside this
Yes,
country?
I was born in this country.
So you're a Black American.
No, I'm not a Black American.
So
I
you're not a
chose
Black
my
American.
ethnicity.
So what makes you
No,
not a
I'm
Black
an
American then?
Ethiopian American.
You're
sir.
an Ethiopian American that was born inside the
Yes.
United States. So you're a tether.
Yes.
You're a
I'm
tether.
a tether. My parents didn't flee
You're a tether, correct?
anywhere. My
You're a tether, correct?
I just said my parents didn't flee. Tether means your parents fled.
No, that's
My
not what it
parents
means. A
didn't
tether
flee.
is a person that comes inside
What is
the
a
country
tether?
who is an immigrant, who's trying to anchor themselves to the United States system. That's what a
I'm
tether
not
is.
anchoring. I'm not. I don't say I'm a Black American at all. I don't state that I'm a
But
Black
you are a
American.
tether, though. You're
How?
trying to say that
How?
you're
I'm
not a
not
tether,
claiming
but
to,
you are a tether.
I'm
You
not claiming
you.
to be a Black American.
I don't care. You are your tether. You won't accept that you aren't a tether. That's so weird. You are a tether.
Because okay, so you're a tether because I'm not a tether.
That makes no sense. I'm Puerto Rican.
probably-
How can I be a tether if I'm Puerto Rican?
Your parents fled Puerto Rico.
How did they? That makes no sense. It was already a part of the
Yeah.
United States. That makes no sense.
Okay, they still left. You would still be a tether according to Black Americans.
Yes,
since you
because
like to
Black
use their
Americans
word.
have a very
Since you
specific
like to
view on
use
it.
their word. Okay, you would be considered a tether in Black Americans' eyes. Okay.
What? Hey, honestly, you said
didn't-
you like to use their word. Why are you speaking English? Why are you speaking the white
Why
man's
am I
language?
speaking English?
Why are you speaking the white man's
Because
language?
I was born in America.
So you're
and
upset.
I
Wait,
grew up
you're
speaking
upset with
English,
me.
and I learned
You're upset
English.
with me being mixed race and using AAVE, even though that's fucking English, and you're saying, "Oh, I can't
Mixed
say,
race?
I can't speak AAVE, even though
Mixed
it's fucking
with what?
English." And you are a fucking African who is speaking English inside the United States.
Yeah, I'm an African. Mhm,
That
I'm
makes no
speaking English,
sense.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. So you can't hold that same logic against me if you're not going to hold yourself to that same logic. You're being inconsistent. That's a double standard. That's bullshit.
Sir, you just claimed to be mixed race. What are you
I am
mixed
mixed
with?
race.
What are you mixed with?
Black, white, and also American indigenous.
You're like 12% Black.
It
less
doesn't
than
matter. It
12%
doesn't matter
Black.
what the percentage
So,
is. The fact of the matter is I am mixed race.
Okay.
Why do you call yourself black?
I don't. I'm African. I'm not Black.
Oh, okay. So you're not black. So why does it matter what I call myself?
Why does it matter? Because you're not. Okay, you're mixed. Okay, I'm glad you're acknowledging that you're mixed. But why are you asking me, an African? Why do I call
Axing?
myself
How about you
Black?
speak correctly if you're not black?
I said ax.
No,
Why are
I
you
heard
asking
ax.
me?
I heard axing.
I said axing.
You're trying to speak
I
AAVE
speak-
again. Why are you speaking
Okay,
AAVE? You're an African. You're not from the United
okay.
States.
If you can, does it sound like I speak any Ebonics?
I mean, if you probably do, who knows? Why do you speak
No, I don't.
English?
I don't speak any Ebonics. I speak proper English. Okay, that's how I was taught to speak properly.
So
right?
why don't you
I'm
speak
sorry
your
were never taught
why don't you
that,
speak
but
your
I'm not
African
about to-
language? Did you
Why
forget your
don't I
language?
speak my African language? Why? Because I was born and raised here, sir.
So you want to be a white American?
No, I don't want to be a white American.
But you're
I'm
not
still an
practicing
African.
you're
I
not
still
practicing
come-
your
I
African
still
language.
come from African immigrants.
But you're not even learning the black version of English. You're retaining your white
don't need to
version of
learn- I
English.
don't need to
Sir,
learn
she speaks Amharic. You only speak Spanish and English, only European languages. Like, what are you talking about?
So I just asked her to speak can you speak your indigenous language of Africa?
Yes, good to you, Mark.
No, not you. I didn't ask you, Alicia. I was talking to the woman, to the
You don't
female.
have your own language. You only speak the European's language.
Congratulations. So can you speak your language over here, this girl?
Yeah, she does. She speaks Amharic. I know her. Did she put no? No.
Well, why isn't she's speaking it right now?
I don't need to prove. I don't need to speak.
Okay, so
to
you don't
or
speak your
you
own
wouldn't
language. You
understand
want to be a
Amharic.
white girl. You want to be the white American because you're using their culture and
I
then
don't-
lecturing
I don't
me.
want to be a
You're
white
lecturing me
American.
about using AAVE. So you want to be a white
I'm
person.
not lecturing you about.
You literally just lectured me
That's
about
what you're
using
saying.
AAVE. What the fuck? You literally said, "Oh, you just use that word, axing." No, the fact of the matter is,
No,
you're
you
fucking
literally
bullshit.
accused me of
You're just
saying
dumb.
that.
You're just dumb.
You are actually a narcissist.
You're just dumb. That's just ridiculous. All right, well, Alicia, how's it going? What was your position?
Yeah, so Latin American, I'm not doing better than African
Oops.
immigrants. Okay, so we're not low IQ.
I never said that.
That's what you said. You said that historically we haven't accomplished anything. We're backward. We're behind every
No,
society.
so the
civilization. That's what you
let's
said.
go back to the very beginning of what I stated specifically about specifically African countries. I stated specifically that the African countries, Africans in Africa that remain in Africa, they haven't progressed to the same level of those in Asia. Like I said, specific countries. I said Japan, South Korea, right? Or Latin American countries like Puerto Rico, like Mexico. The comparison between those countries, the specific ones that I mentioned in Africa, Botswana, Chad, Nigeria, All of these ones are great examples of the comparison between these nations. I didn't say anything about immigrants. She was the one that mentioned immigrants coming inside the United States. I was referring to the multi-generational Africans that still remain in Africa today and the economic standards of their nations compared to our nations in
But you
Latin
know that our
America.
countries
Stop,
are
stop,
less
stop,
than
stop,
7 years
stop.
ago.
In America, in Europe, and also Asian countries. That's what I stated. So if you're gonna come up here with bullshit, I'm gonna correct you.
Those countries are less than 8 years old. So like it's not fair, you know.
That makes no sense, but okay. I mean, you guys had 100,000 years without white people. What happened? Where are your mansions? 200,000 years without white people. Where are the skyscrapers? Where is the development of multi-purpose reusable rocket technology in Africa? Today in the year 2026. Your best South African innovator was Elon Musk, a white man. Like, what's going on? Makes no sense. Makes no sense to me. By the way, I'm also on YouTube. It's been good as well on YouTube as well. I appreciate the ones watching on YouTube. Be sure to follow you guys. Be sure to subscribe. I do this regularly with these people on TikTok. They're not really on their ass, I guess. They don't really have a point right now. Oh Lord. She got so triggered. She tried to get upset with me because I was using black language inside the United States. But she's a fucking African speaking English and chose to speak English and not her indigenous tongue. She wants to be a white woman. That's what it is. If I'm trying to be a black person for using AAVE, then that African is trying to be a white girl. Make that shit make sense. You know, the hypocrisy and the double standard coming from this African migrant speaking only English and only understanding the English language and not knowing her indigenous tongue. Go fuck yourself. That's some bullshit. That is crazy. Now, who's next? Why aren't they held to the same language standard they hold us to? I agree. Why don't they do that? Or why do they do that? Seems kind of odd to me. They are literally Africans speaking English. They're trying to be white, while lecturing us about how superior their society and culture is. That makes no sense. Black privilege. Yeah, pretty much. Alrighty. I think it has dwindled down already. I may need to reset the TikTok live stream. There's only 5 of us here. Okay, Alicia wants to come up again.
Yeah, so you're saying that, do you know that most African countries are less than 80 years? You know that, 80 years old?
That doesn't matter to me. What happened to the 300,000 years before the white mutation arrived? Why didn't you guys have skyscrapers?
We were colonized and we got our independence 6 years ago.
Congratulations. That doesn't explain 300,000 years of doing nothing.
So why do Native Americans make the least money in America?
Because they don't really care that much about finances, honestly.
No,
they have communal living. What, Native Americans? Do you know how the culture?
White people say that Native Americans are backward as well.
Do you know that the cultural difference between white Americans that are far more capitalistic versus the more communal living of indigenous Americans may be an example of their differences of economic outcome?
Okay, so what's preventing African countries from developing, from being like superpowers?
I don't know. It could be a whole slew of issues. It could be because of the European colonizers, right? Which also went to America. So why is America doing better than you guys? My people were also colonized. So what's the excuse?
The difference is a lot of Spaniards actually settled in your country. Okay, Mexico was created by Spaniards. Okay, the Native Americans did not create what we call Mexico today. Let's not stupid.
So white people did not settle in South Africa
and Western in those countries did not.
Did white people not settle in Morocco, Egypt, and also in South Africa?
They still in South Africa, yes. And guess what?
Okay.
South Africa is one of the most.
So the best
Did not
countries
say
that are in Africa
Morocco.
are the ones that were once settled by the Europeans. That includes Europe, or excuse me, that includes Morocco, South Africa, and Egypt. So all of the other ones that were not settled by white people, are they successful?
To Egypt
Are they
Morocco.
successful? Yes or no?
Did you not? Okay, so first of all, spreading information. White people are in South Africa. They're not in Morocco or in Egypt. And guess what?
Oh
They're
man,
in
that's
South
just so funny.
They're in
Dude.
South Africa and South Africa.
I'm done. The logic. My people were colonized, right? My people were colonized. Like that's what you guys say, right? If my people were colonized just as your people were colonized, why is it that we are still more successful economically as nations, not as individuals migrating from their country and entering the United States? Why are they better off economically inside their home country versus your countries over in Africa? Why does that apply everywhere across the world? That applies in India, that applies in China, that applies in Japan, that applies everywhere. The Japanese were colonized, right? The Japanese were not settled. They were never settled by the Europeans, right? They only came to control the economic system and then they left. And now the Japanese have one of the most successful advanced societies in the fucking world. Why is it that the Japanese, who live on a fucking island, which is significantly harder for them to get resources from, why are they significantly far more successful than the average African country, where the Africans had 300,000 years without white people and white mutations? What happened with that, bro? That's what I'm wondering. Maybe it's cultural. Maybe it's the difference of how people view economics. Because over in, like inside the United States, we have indigenous Americans that don't focus on capitalistic systems. That's why they aren't progressing economically as fast as, let's say, the average Latino, when we're comparing only indigenous Americans by themselves versus that of Hispanics that come inside the country. Why is that? Because it's cultural. It's a cultural belief. Why is it that in African countries, they don't develop as quickly? Because it's a cultural belief. It's a part of their society to not value capitalism. And that's fine. But we have to recognize that it's specifically culture for why these people aren't developing as strongly. That's historically true. And this is why Japan is more developed than Europe. Because Europe doesn't have a strong enough belief system of development like Asian countries do, specifically Japan and South Korea. These people, they just don't want to hear it, bro. They do not want to hear the facts.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
What have mestizo animals like you developed?
It doesn't really matter.
What have you developed? How are you going to speak on another race when your entire bastard race has never developed anything?
What are you talking about? Do you not know what Nueva España was? The empire?
You're not Spanish, bro. They just
You
colonized
just said
raped your
mestizo.
women.
You just said mestizo. The ones
Well, here's the
that
thing.
rose to power in Latin America
Bro,
were the mestizos.
you come from a conquered group of people
And
who had their women raped.
okay.
And you're just a cuck. Your entire
Okay.
race is cucked, bro.
Congratulations.
You're
And
disgusting. Imagine being
are
that
you
Mexican,
white
bro.
or are you black?
That is so disgusting.
Are you
Imagine
white or
being
are
a
you
Mexican.
black?
You're not taking over shit. You're
Are you
going
white
back
or
home,
are you black?
faggot. You're going
Are you
home.
white or are you black? Look at how emotional that you're behaving. Oh, he left. He left. Look at how emotional he was behaving. Is he white or is he black? That's what I'm trying to understand here. Oh, you got a violation. Let me reset real quick. I have to reset because he said a no word. I'll be back. Sub-Zero wins. Who left? The guy that was talking shit. He called me a faggot on TikTok, and you can't say the word faggot on TikTok. So, Japan is in debt. Japan is owns the debt of the United States. So they are simultaneously in debt, but also investors of the United States government. What a great conversation, you guys. I really do appreciate you guys watching on YouTube. I almost never like run my live streams like this where I'm doing my debates on one cell phone and then you guys are seeing me on the other one. But this is what I regularly deal with. I regularly deal with like these crazy ass people on TikTok. And so I'm just having this here for YouTube's sake. That way people know like what I have to fucking deal with whenever I'm fucking running these live streams. Because these people are not intelligent, dude. They are not smart. Mixed race love. Appreciate it, bro. Yep. Mixed race people are going to be the majority inside the country. And many people are upset about that, but it is what it is. All to let blackness and whiteness go away, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be the best thing for society, is for blackness and whiteness to just bye-bye, you know? Bye-bye. But we're going to continue the conversation. For those watching on YouTube, comment below. I'm going to wait and see if we get some people from TikTok coming on. I do want to try one day. I want to try YouTube, TikTok, and Kick at the same time. Or Rumble at the same time, whichever one. Whichever one works out pretty well. So we'll see, you know, we'll see. I just want to see where people are at with their belief systems. And I wish I could add the background over here, but I don't think I can. Yeah, it doesn't allow us to add the background in the back. The picker. No, see, it's nothing. It doesn't give us anything. See, this is what YouTube needs to do. YouTube needs to fucking stop being... They have fucking... Okay. YouTube has fucking billions of fucking dollars. Why aren't they giving us the same level of technology with the green screens as fucking TikTok? That makes no sense. What the fuck is Google? What the fuck is YouTube doing where they're not giving us fucking green screen effects like how TikTok has? Like, do they not like money? Do they not want to make money? Do they not want to become better than TikTok? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, why are they doing this? Why are they lacking features on YouTube to such a degree? Hey, J-Mac, why were you so soft? You didn't have enough energy or confidence to remain on the live stream? You got easily triggered and then you left after saying the F word. Why did you do that? I thought you were a man. I thought you were confident in your position and your discussions and your standard of living and whatnot. What happened with that, bro? Oh, man. J-Mac. These people are like to get easily triggered. Alrighty, so for those on YouTube, if you guys don't know, I am Luciel Sorrito. I do political live streams. I do conversations surrounding around sociology and race, politics, economics. I like to just talk. I like to yap. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to yap. If I was able to, you guys would be able to see the background, but I'm not going to set up OBS and do all this fucking shit just so you guys can see the background. Because if it's not play and go or plug and play, then I'm not going to do it, pretty much. It's a waste of my time to do it. But yeah, we'll see what happens, because progressives inside the United States are losing their mind. And they're getting easily triggered. Shit's crazy. Marcala Premier, Anthony, Tom Brady, FBA Elaine. FBAs are jokes, by the way, if you guys don't know. FBAs are a hate group, pretty much. They even hate themselves. They hate being called Africans, even though they are Africans. FBA are people with identity crisis, so I give grace. FBAs are, yeah, I would say they do have an identity crisis. FBAs one day are what is it? Israeli Hebrew or Hebrew Israelites, black Hebrew Israelites, or they're Egyptian gods, or they're masters of the pituitary gland, or they're fucking the king melanated peoples of yesteryear and whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like every 5 to 10 years they change the narrative. You know, and now in the year 2026, they're indigenous Americans. It makes no sense. Every 5 to 10 years, they change it up. FBAs are racist, black supremacists. Yes, I agree. I do believe that FBAs are Lodi Sucios, Lodisucio, Lodi Sucio. Look up the term, Lodi Sucio, Lodisucio. It's just a mess now, but I think you should host a live about it. Live about what? You're a FBA, yes? No, I'm just part black. I'm part chocolate. White chocolate, specifically. You know, well, I guess caramel. We're all human. That's a disgusting way of looking at life. I don't believe that we are all human. I believe that we are all human, but different. That's the way how I see it. Because human and humanity are very distinct terms. We maybe look human, but that doesn't mean that we are. If that makes sense. If you're understanding my frame of logic. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, I do, Apple. It's called Your Mama. Highly contagious. We were all created by God, aren't we? Well, the thing about your God specifically as an Israeli, it's very interesting. So you're saying a group of people are monsters? Yeah, I would say that monsters exist in society. Yes. Yeah. Yep, like people that marry children, for example. Yeah, they're monsters of society. People that grape women and throw LGBT off of roofs, I think those are monsters. I think Zionists arguing in favor of their Zionist belief system just to kill Christians and Muslim people unimpeded, I think that's monstrous. Wouldn't you agree? You should say black in Spanish in the prompt. Be like Pop Rocks in the little ball. Yeah, I know, right? But I can't do that because again, these white progressive liberal Jews are the ones that are. Well, I don't want to say actually. I'm a Zionist. You don't even know what a Zionist is. You are a Zionist. You want to support the Israeli Jewish state, and that's it. You only care about creating a Jewish Israeli state. You don't believe in secularism, because Zionists don't believe in secularism. Are you a part of the Likud party? Are you a real Zionist? A part of the Likud party? Because trust me, I know a lot about Israel. So are you a Likud? Are you in that party? The disgusting party, the same one that is associated with Benjamin Netanyahu? Right? Because those are the real Zionists. Those are the ones that are actually fighting for what those Zionists pretend to support. And what they support is disgusting. Now the Zionist doesn't want to respond anymore. That's crazy. Because, yeah, I know a lot about Israel's disgusting system. I think she left. How is Israel non-secular, yet they let Muslims live with us? You guys are not secular. You guys are not. You guys treat Christians horribly. Your Orthodox Jews treat Christians horribly. And not only that, your Zionist leadership kills innocent people. So, yeah. 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 So how do they allow Muslims and Christians to live with us? You guys don't have a secularist government. If you guys have a secularist government, why can't Muslims freely enter Jerusalem? Why are they why are there checkpoints for Muslims entering Jerusalem and the Arabs? Why is there a checkpoint? At certain times? Why is there a certain time? I thought it was secularist. I thought they can arrive at any time they want to visit Jerusalem. Because it's our country and we can make our own laws? Oh, so you restrict Muslims from entering Jerusalem and you guys are secularist? That's secularism? That's not secularism. Now, is it? Look at that. I caught another fucking some Zionist Jew liar. Fucking ridiculous. You Zionist Jew liar. You filthy liar. You're a fucking liar. But either way, I don't really care because, again, I know more about Israel than you do, apparently. Because, again, I just proved you wrong. You are not secularists. Your people are not secularists. Zionists, the Jews of Israel, are not secularists. They don't let fucking Muslims into Jerusalem whenever they feel like. That's not secularism. I don't care about your independence wars. I really don't care about that. You know more about Zionism than me? Okay, well, apparently you don't know more about secularism than me. So, maybe you do know more about Zionism, but apparently not secularism. Dealing with Zionists. That's so funny. You take Zionism from the mainstream. No, I take Zionism from the majority party of your government. I take what they say, the Likud party, the one that runs the government. Yeah, that's where I'm getting my information from your own government. Yeah. Wow. If you don't like what I know about your government, then change your government. Change the party that's in leadership in Israel. Don't lecture me about this or that about Israel when you're not fucking holding your own people accountable. You know there's a liberal party also in Israel that opposes them? Congratulations, but they aren't in power. Are they in power? No. If we weren't democratic, it wouldn't be possible. What the fuck? Okay. Who the fuck is the one running fucking Syria right now? What are you talking about? Oh my god. They think, oh, we've practiced democracy. That makes us secularist. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. That's a ridiculous notion to even push. We have a democracy, even though our constitution states specifically that the power is vested in specifically the Jewish majority. Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. You're a fool. You're a fool. Never trust Zionists. Don't trust Zionist Jews. They are the biggest fucking liars. They are one of the most disgusting fucking liars of society. Absolute fucking filth. Absolute fucking filth of society. Of human society. And you know that question where I said earlier that there are monsters? Zionist Jews are monsters. Zionist Jews are monsters. They are just as bad as Hamas. Zionist Jews are equally as bad as Hamas, ISIS, ISIL, Al-Qaeda, Al-Nusra, Al-Kabab, or whatever the fuck his name is, or the group is. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. Not only that, but I, as a Christian, you know, what does even the earlier, what is it? What does the Old Testament say about the Jews? You guys never listened to God. You guys were always punished again and again and again and again and again and again by God because you guys never listened to God. Am I wrong? Is that not what it says in the Old Testament? You guys were vehemently punished again and again because you went against God's wishes. And still today, in the year 2026, you guys will be destined. You guys will be destined to be punished by God according to the Christian and your own Jewish faith. Where does it say that? What do you think all of those experiences that they went through? That's why we beat all our enemies, but you guys don't. You guys rely on Christians to beat them for you. You guys don't beat the enemies. You rely on Christians to do it for you. It is true. You guys rely on American funds and money, right? So you guys are just LARPing around now. You guys are just LARPing around. You guys rely on American money, United States money. The reason why your country exists was because Europeans created it for you. in the year, what is it, 1940, whatever, right? That's the truth. When did modern Israel get created? Was it not after the British and the French broke up the Ottoman Empire? Wasn't it the Christians that gave you your fucking country? Wasn't it the Christians that sacrificed themselves during World War I and World War II to give you a fucking country? Wasn't that the fucking truth? Now you're here lying to us and saying that you guys fought for your freedom. You guys didn't. It was the Christians that literally did all the dirty work from the very start. You don't know what you're talking about. These Jewish people, it's so funny. They lie so much. No, because Turkey controlled it. Turkey controlled it. Oh my God. The fall of the Ottoman Empire, bro, was because of the Europeans by Christians. It was the Christians that stopped the Ottoman Empire. It was not the Jews. It was the Christians. Was it the Jews that created their government? No, it was not. It was due to the wars that the Christians were fighting in Europe that led to specifically the growth of the Israeli government. For Zionists, for European Jews to invade the Middle East. It was European Jews. I'm enjoying myself right now. How's it going, sir? Oh, you're still loading up.
It's going good, bro. I just have one question for you.
Sure.
You support ICE?
Sure, why not?
I mean, what's your background?
Hispanic, Latino.
And you still support ICE after everything that's going on?
Do you think that we don't have immigration restrictions in Latin America?
Do you think that what they're doing in Latin America is similar to what ICE is doing?
They're doing worse in Latin America.
Tell me how.
They literally end people in Latin America. The ones that are controlling the borders in places like Colombia is not a border control agency. It's actually the military. It's the proper military.
So you're telling me that someone, what's south of Colombia, like Venezuela, right?
No, that would be east.
Eastern, yeah. So do people in Venezuela, do they need to cross through Colombia to get to the U.S.?
Sure.
So you're telling me that there is a migration pattern of people going through Colombia, but if they go through Colombia, they get treated worse than what ICE would treat them?
Yes, because again, the comparison between a civilian unit like CBP, ICE, etc., those are all civilian units. Those are all civilian law enforcement. When we're talking about what's going on in Colombia, that's controlled, the border is controlled not by a civilian unit, it's controlled by a military unit. It's entirely different.
Let me ask you this. For both cases, for ICE and Colombia, do you notice that they treat Black and brown people a little more rougher? And they actually, I've never seen ICE kidnap a white person, right? So do you think that has anything to do with it? Or you think they're just calling spade a spade, calling balls and strikes? They're just picking up whoever's breaking the law?
Oh no, I'm sure that there is racial and ethnic bias like there is anywhere else. Nothing can be 100% perfect.
I think the racial bias trumps the goofy ass laws, in my personal opinion, right? Like I understand, the need for immigration reform, but there's like a special tinge of racism to it, don't you think?
Sure, but that doesn't really matter.
You don't think that matters?
No, I don't think it matters to your original question, because your original question was specifically who is doing it worse. And I said that Latin America is doing it worse because in Latin America, there isn't that same standardization of like social order of what is acceptable for society, because in Latin America, it's far more looser. We treat people worse in Latin America than we do here inside the United States.
Is there a racial tinge of a racial bias in Latin America when it comes to migration?
Sure. There's a racial bias everywhere.
You think that? Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, man, to me personally, I noticed that Latin America needs a wake-up call when it comes to this subject, right? I understand that you're trying to, maybe align yourself with Western values, but at the end of the day, they do not accept y'all.
Okay, and blacks accept us? Do blacks accept us?
My blacks do, yeah. My black ass is out here defending ICE against, playing defense on ICE, trying to, protect the black and brown community from being kidnapped. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, my black neighborhood does. Yeah. Okay. We accept y'all. I remember I was raised on the Black Panthers in collaboration with the Brown Berets. I was raised on the collaboration with the Yellow Pearl. I was raised on the collaboration with the Poor Whites.
Okay, that's cool. That's good for you. Not many black people agree with you on that one, though.
I mean, if you're online and talking to a bunch of CIA agents that get paid to, cause division, yeah, you're gonna feel like nobody gives a fuck about you, bro. But I'm outside touching grass, talking to people in real life.
Okay, cool.
And if ICE were to show up in my neighborhood, my black neighborhood, they'd get their ass ran out. And you've seen videos of that all across the country. When ICE goes to a black neighborhood trying to kidnap your family members, what happens?
Nothing, because none of my family members are illegal. So why would you even say that in the first place?
We run their asses out of town.
But why would you say my family members when my family members are not illegal? Or is this an assumption? Is that some kind of weird bias that you have against Hispanics? Why would you make that assumption?
I make that assumption because black people.
No, you make that assumption because you actually have disdain for Hispanics and Latinos. You have that assumption because you don't like us. I caught you right there. You don't like us. You have this bias against us, and I just caught it right there. It's called a Freudian slip, and you literally just did it live on camera for like 110 people right here. I'm literally using what you just stated right there. I'm sorry that I'm calling you out.
Or you want to listen to what I have to say?
But the thing is, I'm calling you out right now. I'm calling you right now. You had this assumption. You had this assumption about me and my family.
The brown folks not do that. Black folks call everybody brother and sister. So when I say your family, it could be someone that's not even related to you.
Why is that a request canceled?
Right? Like if something happens to us as black folks, that's family, regardless, right? So I would hope that you as a brown person have the same sort of mentality, that your people that are getting kidnapped from ICE, that you got to look at them as family. You can't look at them as just outside of
you say it so nonchalantly, it's offensive. I see why you're getting offended at this guy, bro. He doesn't know when he says something offensive, and he doesn't realize it in his mind. He's just like, oh, let me just say this thing, and thinks it's gonna slide. You gotta be more sensitive.
What's sensitive about calling people family members? What's so bad?
Just be more sensitive when you talk on other people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm having fun with this.
Give us the same respect that you would. Give us the same respect you would give your own race. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, wait, hold on a second. Let's bring it back to the conversation. So this whole notion that Latinos should just be automatically opposed to ICE. How far does this notion go? Should we also like start ending the police officers as well? Like, what's going on? Like, because the whole notion, this whole idea that white people are always trying to get us. Okay, so should we just like not have police officers in our zones and just let a bunch of black and brown people start killing each other? But it is the conversation because we're talking about specifically law enforcement.
You asked me a question. Can I answer it?
Well, I mean, are you going to allow me to finish my question, or what's going on?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I suggest you as a black person that you control your emotions real quick and allow somebody to finish before you interject. Would you agree with that?
As long as you can give me the same feeling back, brother. That's
well. I mean, I'm the host. I don't need to give you shit.
All right, let's not throw racial innuendos in there, like brother or let's not do that.
I told you stop playing in my butthole.
Hey, there goes the high IQ guys. Hey, high IQ.
Yep. More than likely white. That's more than likely a white person.
Yeah.
Yeah. High IQ, right? Yeah. Go ahead, guys.
Alrighty. So let's return the conversation back to law enforcement as well. I guess if we want to specify immigration.
Okay, cool.
I feel like that's running from the conversation, but go ahead, bro.
But we were talking about law enforcement.
Let them fly. Let them fly. Sir.
Wait, how to say? Were we not talking about law enforcement as it pertains to immigration?
Go ahead. What's your point?
No, I'm asking you a question.
Come on now.
Was that not what we were discussing?
We are.
Don't do that.
Okay, so I don't need your sly little ghetto comments then.
Right.
I don't need your sly little ghetto comments when that was in fact the conversation that we were having. I understand that your brain probably cannot process the actual situation, but that's how it is. So again, going back to the discussion, you think that us as Hispanics or Latinos, we shouldn't support law enforcement when it comes to immigration because we are Hispanic. That's your position? Because of the abuses alleged against us specifically, right?
Correct.
Okay, so why? Expand on that position. Because you think For what reason?
I think they're targeting. And this is the thing, man. I wanted to say y'all. I wanted to say they're targeting y'all, but you're separating yourself from them. So let me do that. My apologies. I think ICE is unfairly targeting Black and brown people, and they're using this as the excuse to unleash their racism through the system of legality. Now, if you want to buy into that, hey, that's fair. There's plenty of plausible deniability for you to just say, hey, they're just following the law. Me personally, as a Black person that studied history in this culture, this country,
Yeah.
for hundreds of years, they've been doing the same thing of just targeting individuals. And they might use legality to say, hey, you're an illegal runaway slave, so therefore we can capture you and do whatever we want.
Yeah.
They've been saying that excuse for hundreds of years, bro. So look, if you align yourself with that, hey, fair. But if you want to like actually read between the lines and see what's happening here, you would notice that ICE is just taking this as an opportunity to abuse Black and brown people to distract, and which is a tool to distract white people from the capitalists and colonizers that are taken from them. So it just gives white folks the opportunity to say, hey, don't be frustrated at the 1% ruling society. It's actually the brown person's fault. Go capture them and kidnap them and get them out your country. That's what it is to me. But if you see something different, I'm open to hearing it, bro. Go ahead.
No. I 100% agree, because my belief is it doesn't matter what the majority is. Like the majority specifically, if it was a Black majority, they would be oppressing others. If it was a mestizo majority, they would be oppressing others. If it was a white majority, which it is right now, they would be oppressing others. I believe that we are all tribal, and this whole notion that our skin color is just a meaningless idea. No, our skin color and our culture and our ethnicity is what determines our culture and society and our nation. So with that being the case inside the United States, white Americans have their own belief system of what is white America or what is American culture. Black Americans have their own ghetto version of it. And then, of course, Latinos have our own Latino version of it, right? So we all have our own specific view of what it means to be American inside this country.
Hey,
so since the powers right now are white America... Yeah, hold on a second. Since the power right...
Can we let him finish?
Let's try not to throw jabs, bro, on either side, bro. We got to work on that on ourselves too. You know what I'm saying? Let's not throw jabs on your side or his side. And
ghetto's not an insult to me. I'm
yeah,
fine
I
with
mean,
that,
yeah, but it has a bad stigma behind it, and we don't need that. Let's make
that's
it productive.
Fair. Yeah, let's keep the jabs above the belt.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
So Black Americans have their own specific culture inside the United States. We all have our own culture, and you guys would want to promote that culture globally, right? You guys would want it to be the majority culture of society, just as white people want their majority culture of society. So, I mean, we're doing a push and pull on what is acceptable. We're doing a push and pull on what is acceptable, because even the FBAs, people that are foundational Black Americans, these people that are a little bit more radical than the average Black American, these people also hold that same belief. We don't want Africans over here because they're displacing us. We don't want Haitians or Jamaicans because they are not like us. They haven't experienced what we experience here inside the United States. So we are going to have a specific bias against them and oppose them, even though they are in fact Black like us. So that's just the gist of it. Everybody has their own biases, and you may be like a progressive liberal. You think that we can all live kumbaya and hold fucking hands and all this bullshit. Congratulations, but that's not the reality of the world. You are a sub-minority within your own minority group with your own belief system. The majority of your people are in fact racist, just like white people are in fact racist, just like my people are in fact racist. We only cater to the people who either look like us or practice the same culture as us, and that will never fucking change. Never fucking change.
Hey, you know that this racism that you're speaking of is new, right? It's like if the history look at
you don't speak for every Latino, bro. You don't speak for me. Like I'm sorry, but I just gotta say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have your own set mindset. That's how you think, and that's how you feel the world works. Not everybody has that same perception. And yes. I'm of the same. Me and you are damn near close in genetics. So it's a person-to-person basis. You can't always go by that mindset about America.
I think I have a realist mindset. I think progressive liberals are like they are deluded in their mind, trying to see the best in the world, but I'm seeing the reality for what it is. I'm not saying
you're allowed to have that perspective.
I'm not saying that the glass is half full or half empty. I'm just saying that it's at 50%. That's all I'm saying. You understand?
Fair.
So I'm looking at reality for what it is,
Where you have a response?
So if we take a look at the history of humanity, right? How far back do we go?
I don't know.
100,000.
Yeah, 200,000. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, bet. And we've
Caucasian.
had. Okay, bro. You go in the history of say humanity. Let's say if it's like a human life, racism is like a fart, bro. It's like a little mistake.
Oh yeah, I
like
agree.
A trip in the sidewalk, bro. Like this shit's
Yeah.
not real. It was like a made up invention. Now, if we want to like evolve into that framework, I mean, fair.
I don't know what happened to
personally,
YouTube.
I personally think this racism shit's gonna, be just a little hiccup in our history.
For
of
those
humanity,
watching
and we're gonna
on
get back to the way it used to
YouTube,
be,
my
which was
my cell phone glitched when I
the
left,
Greeks,
so I'm gonna have to end the stream.
North Africans,